You right? Welcome back to the channel. This is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. We generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video, we're going to be talking about a roll and write game. We're going to be talking about Rolling Realms. And in this game, you'll be rolling a couple of dice. You'll be filling in cards to give you resources and score victory points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video, we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules, but telling you what we do like, what we don't like. Then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Rolling Realms is worth your time and bother today and in the future. So remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. Hit the like button, all that bollocks. And we'll see you after this. Bollocks. So, Rolling Realms. How'd you play this game? So setup for Rolling Realms is really easy. You'll get a resource card, you get a score card, you put them face up in front of you, and then you'll shuffle the remaining cards and you'll draw 3 realms and you'll put them face up in front of you. And then everyone else who's playing the game will draw the same 3 realm cards that you have drawn. You'll take a dry erase marker and one of them horrible black eraser cloth things and you'll put them to the side, right? On your turn, you're going to do 2 things. You're going to roll the dice and then you'll activate a realm. Yeah, there's a couple of little caveats for this. One, you can't use both numbers on a realm. If you can't use the die number to fill in a box or something, then you can use it to gain a resource. There's different types of resources in this game. There's coins, there's pumpkins, and there's hearts, right? And if you spend them, they'll be used to mitigate the rolls of the dice. You might be able to spend coins to gain a die of a certain value, right? You might be able to spend hearts to gain a die of a value of the other die that's been rolled, or you might be able to spend pumpkins to adjust the die roll +1 or -1, right? So after you've rolled the dice, you'll mark the numerical values of each die on the round chart, and you'll see there's 9 rounds, and whoever gets the most stars at the end of round 9 will win the game, right? You get stars by completing the tasks that are on the realms. So we're not going to go through all these because there's quite a few, and some of them are sort of like similar. You'll be filling in boxes, trying to activate different scoring possibilities, right? So you might end up playing with the My Little Scythe card, and this says you can mark a hex. You'll gain either a pumpkin or a heart when you complete matching pair of hexes, and you'll score 2 stars per resource type, for which you gained at least 6 resources this round from all realms. It's quite a difficult one to do, right? You know what I mean? We have struggled with this one in the past. Whenever it comes out, we sort of like sigh a collective groan. So you might end up playing with the society card, and what you'll do, you'll mark the number on one of the cards and you'll gain a bonus when completing a row. So you might gain a heart and a coin if you complete the top row, or you might gain 2 pumpkins, a heart and a coin if you complete the bottom row, and you'll score stars for each completed set of cards. That means 1 card on top of 2, but you've got to remember that each number you put in, the number below it has got to be lower than the number that's above it, right? Or you might end up with the Charterstone card, and what you do, you'll mark off the number in the house, you'll gain a resource below it, you'll place the other number that you rolled in one of the crates, right? This doesn't stop you from using that number on another realm, but what it means is that you can use that crate as if you had rolled that die in a subsequent round. You'll score 1 star for each marked crate with the number that you rolled noted in it, right? Well, it can get a bit confusing, right? I'm confused myself. So the final one we're going to talk about is the Tapestry realm, and what you get to do is you get to fill in a full shape on the grid, and you'll gain a resource when completing one of the big squares, and you'll get stars for completing any big row or column, right, up to 6 maximum, right? So it's a nice little simple one, and yeah, we don't cheer about it. We sort of feel quite content and at peace with the world when this one comes out. So keep doing this, you keep rolling the dice, filling in your cards, and at the end of the 9th round, a player with the most stars will be the winner. There is also a solitaire variant in this game. Well, this game is practically solitaire anyway, but there is a solitaire variant which adds a nice touch of mini golf, right? It's really got nothing to do with mini golf. You'll still be playing with the basic realms that are included, but there are some rules changes for each hole that you're going to try and fill with your balls. So what do we like about Rolling Realms? So the first thing that we really like about this is there's loads of realms to choose from, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. So 11 realms. Well, that's what I counted anyway. Maybe I counted the score chart, but who gives a shit? Yeah, there's loads of realms to choose from, and the fact that you're only playing with 3 means that you don't really ever know what ones are going to come out, and this leads to a huge variety of combinations, right? So yeah, the fact that they have included quite a few realms in this game means that the game doesn't get stale as quickly as it probably would, but it sort of does get stale quite quick. Right. So the next thing that we really like about this was the surprise we got when we found out there was a mini golf variant in it. Yeah, that was quite a nice touch. We thought, wow, this is really good. And then we realised actually it's just basically a solitaire game, which has nothing to do with golf at all. But that initial surprise was quite a nice feeling, only to be let down later. But it doesn't matter, yeah? When you're at the box, you see that mini golf, it's like, hurrah, struggling to find decent things about this. So the next thing that we really like is the dice are absolutely fantastic. They're huge. It's like a big couple of banging testicles that fly around the table. Right? They're absolutely enormous. They're big chunky dice. They look like they're covered in pond scum actually, because they're sort of green and blue. But yeah, the dice are nice and chunky, and we really like it when we can fondle some nice chunky dice. So the final thing that we like about this game is that it's short, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't really want games like this to outstay their welcome too much. It doesn't take that long at all to blast through 9 rounds of this, and that's welcome because most of the time in the early rounds you're not going to be scoring that many stars anyway. So yeah, the fact that it's short saves us from having to throw this in the bin. So what don't we like about Rolling Realms? So the first thing that we don't like about Rolling Realms, it's frustratingly random, right? You really can't judge what you're going to do as the game progresses because you're basically held hostage to a random die roll each turn. You can't plan a strategy, you can't really save anything up, or you can't really let loose your strategy in later turns. There is that mitigation with the saving of resources, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough to think I'm going to spend some resources to change a die up or something like that, because you're going to need those resources to complete some of the cards, right? So whilst there is mitigation in this, it's just not enough to save it from that really agitating random die roll. So the next thing that we don't like about this is that it's essentially just an abstract die rolling game. There's not really enough to link the theme of the realms, because each realm is based on one of Stonemaier Games, right? There's not enough from those games to link it with the theme in the game, right? It would have been nice if there'd been something on the cards that shows you that you're playing between 2 castles, or something that tells you that you're playing Euphoria. But it's just nothing there. It's too abstract for its own good. So the final thing that we don't like about Rolling Realms, it's just essentially a solo game. It claims to be an up to 6-player multiplayer game, but essentially you're just going to be rolling a die, putting some numbers down, and it doesn't really matter what your opponents are doing. And the fact that they've added that mini golf solitaire variant when the game essentially is a solitaire game just sort of throws vinegar and baking soda onto your bastard sword flesh wound. So to summarise, is Rolling Realms worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say no. I'm not saying the game is bad. I'm just saying that because this was originally a free print and play game, maybe it should have stayed that way, yeah? It's too random and it's too abstract, and it really does lack any sort of meaningful decisions. That might be because it's just a really small roll and write game, but it just feels like you're sort of swimming in open water, waiting for the tide to throw you back onto the beach, right? The component quality is pretty decent. The dice are really nice quality. The card stock's really nice quality. But this isn't a game that sort of screams, play me again once you've explored all the rules and nuances of all the different realms. So it's not really a game that we can recommend unless you really do like these roll and write games. So there you go, that's Rolling Realms. Remember, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. Hit the like button and all that bollocks. We'll see you next time.